So I was a super Trump supporter in 2016. I voted for him in 2020. I didn't vote for him in 2024 because his rhetoric got super gay and I felt like he betrayed the base, and he was talking about implementing more immigration, and I saw that he wasn't going to promise that we wouldn't go to war with Iran. Then he got elected and it's been nothing but disappointment after disappointment. We've bombed Iran, we're increasing H-1B visas, replacing American workers, there's no mass deportations. Now he's talking about amnesty. That's not really amnesty for farmers. We're probably going to go into an all-out war with Iran eventually, and now the straw that broke the camel's back was this whole entire Epstein cover-up, which is super gay. So I'm pretty sure Trump is banging kids, or he's at the very least protecting people that banged kids, which I'm just not really cool with. So I have 3 of my MAGA hats here today, and we're gonna burn them. Yeah, so these are basically yarmulkes now, and this is a Christian country, so we're not gonna play with these anymore. MAGA hats are off, America First hats are on. Burn, baby, burn. And this is a great representation of what's left of MAGA.
And the guy who posted that video on social media is a huge MAGA fan, super right-wing. It seems like so many of these Trump voters are just done with him now. This MAGA civil war is not going anywhere anytime soon. Donald Trump was really hoping that with this new statement, people would just fall into line and follow his lead. But many of these diehard Trump fans are saying, not so fast.
One thing about AOC, she doesn't mind being the villain in MAGA world. In fact, I think she enjoys it. And her latest post is causing a MAGA meltdown. Now you can read the social media post for yourself. AOC posted this after Attorney General Pam Bondi said there was no Epstein client list and that he killed himself. You have Laura Loomer, who's going off here saying that AOC should be sued and then calling her Porky. It's not the Democrats MAGA needs to be worried about. It's these folks right up there, their own. They're actually out here burning MAGA hats over this Jeffrey Epstein thing. Then you have Tucker Carlson, of all people, leading the charge when it comes to questioning the Trump administration over.
Was Jeffrey Epstein a weirdo who was abusing girls? Yes, we can answer that. The real question is, why was he doing this, on whose behalf, and where did the money come from? And those are the questions that need to be answered. And I think it's entirely fair to ask them.
America is shaking, and this time, it's not the left, it's the MAGA base. Some diehard Trump supporters are now burning their red MAGA hats. And the reason? The Epstein list. Yes, that list. For years, MAGA supporters stood strong, believing Donald Trump was the ultimate outsider, the swamp drainer, the truth teller. But then the Epstein client list surfaced. And it didn't just include celebrities and billionaires. It included names that hit closer to home. Names MAGA once believed were clean. Some supporters are now asking, was Trump ever really fighting the elite, or was he just another part of it? Videos are trending of MAGA supporters setting fire to their iconic red hats. What used to be a symbol of pride is now a symbol of betrayal. People are captioning videos. We trusted you. You are supposed to expose them, not protect them. No more blind loyalty. This isn't just rebellion. It's a breakdown of identity for many in the MAGA base.
And I love the civil war that's happening in MAGA right now. And as a former Republican, I thought I'd shed some light on why, A, I think this makes perfect sense as to why Epstein is finally the nail in the coffin for them, and B, why I think that they've actually been waiting in the wings for a while to be able to publicly denounce Trump. When it comes to pedophilia, it gives people on the right the perfect permission structure to stand on this moral superiority pedestal that they have for themselves. By nature, they know that this is something that runs rampant in their own communities and like Republican and organized religious spaces, which is why historically they've always been the loudest on this issue, not necessarily because they care about it more, but because of A, projection, and B, it gives them the ability to say, well, I'm not one of those people. But when it comes to other issues, like all these other egregious things that Trump has been doing, these were never going to be things that they publicly denounced Trump over. And not because they don't agree that he's been taking it too far, but because at the core, these are policies that they voted for. For instance, they don't agree that masked ICE agents should be able to kidnap people off of the street. However, at the core, they did vote for stricter immigration policy. And because of that, it's harder for them to find this line with which Trump crosses without having to publicly admit that they are part in part responsible of Trump even being able to get to that line. And it's the same thing with Medicaid and healthcare cuts. Is they're always going to be voting for, at their core, smaller government and less federal funding and resources coming into states and having states take care of their own. And so while they think that, yes, Trump has taken it too far in this instance, this isn't necessarily something that they can go online and publicly announce and say, like, fuck Trump and his immigration policy and fuck Trump for, like, slashing Medicaid and Medicaid funding, because the ask of them to do this is asking essentially them to then admit that part of the problem was the fact that they voted for the core of these policies to begin with. So I think that Trumpsters have been waiting for an excuse to be able to publicly denounce Trump because he has been crossing their lines, and Epstein is the perfect excuse. And how quickly this, like, MAGA civil war has happened just shows me that they've been waiting in the wings for something with which they're finally able to publicly denounce this person who has been taking it too far for a while, but until now they didn't feel like they had the permission structure to, because in all of these other instances it hits too close to home for how they have attributed to it. So yeah, Epstein makes perfect sense. The civil war is going to be really interesting to watch.
MAGA is mad. They're so angry. I could watch videos of MAGA hats being burned like all day. One fewer hat every time. I love that. But here's the thing. I don't think that they are mad at the right things. They're directing all of their anger at Pam Bondi like she's not just like an extension of him doing whatever it is that he says to do and listening to everything that he says. I mean, clearly they didn't expect the blowback whenever she said there's no list, because then there was a list again and now there's not, or somebody else wrote it or whatever. Like, they're only mad because they think that he's protecting Democrats. They don't understand yet that it's clear he's on the list. But that's okay. Like, keep burning it. Keep being mad. Keep burning your hats.
Trump has publicly denied any wrongdoing related to Epstein. But people aren't just looking at what's legal anymore. They're looking at what's moral. If Trump was close to Epstein, even socially, does that align with the values MAGA stood for? And why is there so much silence from conservative media? Whether it's performative outrage or genuine awakening, one thing is clear. The Epstein list is changing the game. And now, even the most loyal are asking questions. What we're seeing isn't just a protest. It's a civil war within the conservative movement. Some MAGA loyalists are doubling down, saying, "This is all a smear campaign. Fake news trying to divide us again." But others are done making excuses. They're calling out the hypocrisy. You can't say you're for the children and stay silent on Epstein. If it was a Democrat, we'd be screaming. So, why are we quiet now? This split is loud, and it's only getting messier.
Multiple sources are reporting that MAGA is collapsing as the backlash from the Epstein case cover-up is way worse than what the Trump administration ever expected. Many longtime Trump supporters felt betrayed when his administration abruptly ended the Epstein investigation and sealed away all related files. Outraged MAGA supporters flooded social media, directly calling out Trump, the FBI Director Kash Patel, and Attorney General Pam Bondi for participating in a deliberate cover-up. Things then got even worse when a shouting match broke out during an emergency meeting between Patel, Bondi, and FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, with Bongino saying that he'll quit if Bondi isn't fired, causing MAGA to rally behind him and demand the firing of the Attorney General. Then they even began turning on Trump himself after he released a full statement on Truth Social defending Bondi and urging people to just forget about Epstein because apparently he's not important, only for everyone in the replies to completely go against him and continue to demand the Epstein files.
So it appears that the MAGA crowd, or a good portion of them, are pretty upset over what's going on with the administration in more than one way, because they're calling them non-transparent. If you want to know what those are burnt MAGA hats. And that's what Nick Fuentes, who, well, first of all, he's a piece of work himself. He actually has been described as a white supremacist, but he is posting on X that they've been fooled by the Trump administration and led down a path that they did not plan on going on. So in retaliation for Pam Bondi and the administration not releasing the Epstein files and who's on it, this is the new trend for MAGA. They are burning those notorious red hats. And all I can say is, congratulations if you have finally gotten to that point to where you have to burn that symbol that's been emblazoned on your head for the last 8 years. Thank God. Maybe there is hope for you.
So here we are at a crossroads. The red hat, once a symbol of unshakable loyalty and belief in a movement, is now being tossed into flames by the very people who wore it with pride. The Epstein list didn't just drop names. It dropped truth bombs that are forcing people to rethink everything they stood for. Maybe this isn't just the fall of blind patriotism. Maybe it's the start of real accountability, no matter who you voted for. And maybe, just maybe, the real revolution isn't about left versus right. It's about truth versus power. So I ask you, is MAGA dead? Or is it finally waking up? Let's talk in the comments. Don't forget, like this video. Drop your thoughts below. Share with someone who's been too quiet on this topic. And subscribe to Orbit Point, where we question everything, no matter how uncomfortable it gets.